Well, while the Jaguars celebrate their first touchdown of the night, it's time for our first one-on-one segment. Eric Winston going one-on-one with his teammate Neil Rackers. Unfortunately, coaches don't let these two go one-on-one in practice, so while we get the blocking sleds in place, let's check out a video of a huge day Neil Rackers had when he was kicking for the University of Illinois.
Football, Gino, but he caught the football. Here's a stellar day for a kicker. This is at Iowa. This is the 49-yarder, the 50-yarder. Now watch this. Steve Fitz, who threw for a completion today. This is Efren Herrera type stuff. Rackers into the end zone.
You could tell he doesn't catch the ball that much because he's holding the ball right in the middle of it.
In the second half on Tennessee. Good return, but a hard hit to take Mariani down. Neil Rackers, the kicker, made contact. 29-yard return. Well, Neil Rackers, after that big hit on the kickoff return, getting handshakes all around. I know they call Brett Hartman, his kicking partner, hitman for a couple of pretty good shots that he has delivered. That pass intended for Nate Washington, but Neil may claim that nickname.
We got to go back and look a couple times to make sure it was actually Rackers. You don't see kickers stick their head in there like that. That's a pretty good form tack. I think it caught Mariani by surprise.
Head across the bow and then hit and then come up with a nice fist pump. That's the way to do it right there.
Hey, you know, just trying to do what you guys do.
You don't see me tackling anybody, I'll tell you that.
Only on holding calls, right?
That's right. Yeah. So and the ones they don't call either.
Well, there you go.
So you grow up in St. Louis, and a lot of NFL kickers are soccer players.
Yes.
You know, they grow up, play a lot of soccer, and at some point someone was like, hey, come kick for our team, and you realize you can end up making more money doing that and get better college scholarships and everything like that doing that. How was it for you?
You know, I was a soccer player. I still consider myself a soccer player in pads. Hate to watch it, love to play it. But yeah, I was always the free kick guy, and our football team won 2 games in the 4 years that I was there. And in soccer, we won state 3 out of 4 years. So obviously, most of the athletes played soccer at my school and went out to kick. Long story short, I kicked a 35 and 47 yarder in my first game. And Pat Leahy from the New York Jets happened to be at the game. Played for the New York Jets for 17 years and was a friend of a friend. And every Sunday from then on out, worked with me. Kind of taught me the game and talked me out of taking a soccer scholarship to University of Kentucky and talked me into walking on to Illinois to play football.
Now, was that hard for you? Was that like to say, man, I'm not going to go take this scholarship to play soccer. I'm going to go walk on at Illinois, big state school where there's probably going to be a lot of walk-ons, right, and try to kick.
You know, it's one of those.
I guess
deals.
what made you want to do that? I guess what was the overriding factor?
You know, I was just willing to take a chance. You know, I mean, he had that much faith in me.
Did you see the future kind of behind it? Like, hey, if I do this really well, I might have something. Whereas you can be the best college soccer player in the country, and at the end of that 4 years, that's pretych it.
You know, I didn't even look that far ahead at that point. I mean, I saw that. I didn't realize that what I was doing was that great, and everyone else made a big deal out of it. So I looked at it as an opportunity. If a guy that did it for 17 years in the NFL thought I was capable, then go take a shot.
So what happened at Illinois? I mean, what was the situation when you got there? Obviously, it wasn't a good team, right, when you got there?
No, I mean, we had Simeon Rice and Kevin Hardy, and that was about it. And,
and me.
Well, there you go.
I was third on the team in tackles, right?
Pretty close. But they, yeah, so I got there, and I was number 105 out of 105 that got to go to camp that year and couldn't get a pair of socks. And you know how that goes as a freshman walk-on kicker. And they had a guy that they had scholarship that was all everything in Florida, and they told me I wouldn't play till my 4th and 5th years. And so I redshirted and just went to work, and 3 games into my freshman year.
Your redshirt year or the second season?
My freshman eligibility year, 3 games in, they said, hey, you're going today. And there it went.
And the rest is history.
There you go.
Now, how was your career at Illinois? Obviously pretty good, but would you say, looking back on it, that you played pretty well, or is it something that you're still kind of learning the position?
I was still learning. I mean, I was, I think I was 3 for 5 my first year, and then we had 10 field goal attempts my sophomore and junior years, because usually we were behind so much that we didn't kick field goals in the second half. And
Come on, Coach, get me out there. I'm a weapon.
Exactly. And then my senior year, we were 20 or 21 to 26 with a lot of long field goals, and kind of teams were looking at me more for kickoffs at that point. And then, just took advantage of the workouts and had 2 teams that wanted me and ended up getting drafted by the Bengals.
Now, that's a pretty big deal. I mean, to get drafted as a kicker, there's not a lot of them. I mean, even the big-time kickers in the game today, your Robbie Golds, name your kicker other than Jankowski, most of them just go undrafted, and then they kind of find, okay, this guy needs a kicker, I'm going to go there, and the top kicker coming out gets the pick first, and it falls down that way. Not a lot of draft pick. How did you feel when that day? Were you expecting to get drafted, or did it kind of come as a surprise?
I was convinced I was going to be a Chicago Bear. They'd showed up 4 times. I didn't miss. Went out to lunch with them. Draft day, I'm on the phone with Chicago. They say, "Congratulations, you're our next draft pick."
Is that right?
And I'm on the phone, and finally the gal said, "Oh," and she let an expletive fly, and I said, "Excuse me?" She said, "Cincinnati just took you the pick before a click." I was like, going to Illinois, I wanted to go to Chicago.
So Chicago was the pick right after Cincinnati?
Yes.
Cincinnati took you?
Yes. And so, things did not go well in Cincinnati, and, it was a great learning experience, though. I'm grateful to the Bengals that they stuck with me for as long as they did. And then
so you go from Cincy to go to Arizona, kind of started in Arizona. It's the same thing you left in Cincinnati, just a bad team, not very good, but you ended up kicking in a Super Bowl.
Kicking a Super Bowl, Pro Bowl, it was a good experience for me.
You like a lot of the guys out there?
I was...
Is that your first, real fun experience in the NFL, where you really felt like, hey, this is what it's all about?
No question. And that's one of the things when I got to Houston that, I was leery. It was hard to leave Arizona for me because we did have such a great locker room and a great crew of guys. And, going to a new team, you just never know what you're walking into. And that's one of the things I told my wife when I got to Houston. I said, I feel like, I have faith that you can go other places, and this does exist other places, because we have a great locker room here as well, and great diverse crew of guys that just hang out together. So
now you got a lot of accomplishments already, like you said, a Pro Bowl. You had, I think, 37 out of 40 last year, right, or something like that, or 30. What was
27 out of 30.
27 out of 30.
Yeah.
A lot of accomplishments, and you also hold the NFL record for most field goals in 1 year at 40, which is a heck of a amount. I mean, think about it. You're kicking 2.5 field goals a game. I guess what's your biggest thing that you're most proud of?
Well, honestly, the thing I'm most proud of is that I was voted a captain by my teammates in Arizona, and I was voted a captain by my teammates in Houston. And I mean that.
It means a lot from, I guess, people don't realize, I think, how much that means to when your players, your peers kind of vote you in.
Definitely.
What that means.
I mean, it just it tells you that you're doing your job. You're a good role model for the other guys, and the fact that they respect you, especially when it's hard sometimes in my position to get respect.
Sure.
That means more to me than anything.
Now, thanks for thanks for being here. First of all, thanks for coming on the show. And here's a little video of why Neil Racker should be your fantasy kicker.
Uh-oh. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to show you a little something I've been working on. We're going to take these first 2 balls and hit them off the left upright. Then we're going to take the next 2 balls and hit them off the right upright. You need a kicker, right? Pick me.
Neil Rackers with Eric Winston, our one-on-one segments. You can check those out on our website, thebustv.com. Later this week as well, we'll put all the individual one-on-one segments. Eric's going to sit down with Javon Walker and with Matt Murphy as well. If you're just joining us, thanks for joining us on Not Your Ordinary Sports Show. I'm Robert Hensley. Eric Winston's here every week as well, Texans starting right tackle. Our guest, Neil Rackers, who you just saw with Eric. Neil, the kicker for the first-placed Houston Texans, the 9-3 Houston Texans. Former Texan and Bill and who did I leave out? Detroit Lion.
Texan that hurt, though.
Matt Murphy is on with us, and we have Javon Walker from the Broncos, the Packers, and the Oakland Raiders.
Red Heart.
Our crack research staff has been checking out y'all's outstanding resumes for the teams you've been on. And they report that although Neil had his first 7 years in the league on teams that lost at least 10 games.
Wow.
That's rough.
Awesome.
It's actually Matt who has the worst winning percentage of the two of you.
Congratulations.
Because of me.
34% winning percentage. You guys basically lost 2 out of 3 games your entire career. Neil thinks probably to the Texans this year and maybe that Arizona year when y'all went to the Super Bowl, 39% career winning percentage. It's still nothing to write home about.
What people forget is we were labeled the worst playoff team in NFL history at 9-7.
9-7.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
that didn't help much.
Turned out pretty well for you guys going to the Super Bowl, though,
It
right?
did.